Hey, security researcher here once again. Thanks for checking out this video. Today we're diving into something that the FBI is warning everybody about, and this is something you need to hear. So let's jump right in. Picture this, you're fast asleep and out of nowhere your phone starts ringing. You and I both know that nobody should be calling at this hour, and if they are, something's got to be wrong. Half asleep, you reach for your phone. Blinded by the light coming off of it, you squint at the screen. It's your daughter's number. Instantly, your pulse starts to quicken. Why is she calling at this hour? Something's got to be wrong. You pick up the phone expecting the worst, and her voice bursts through the line. Panicked, desperate, pleading for your help. Every protective instinct in you kicks in. Your heart starts racing. You're ready to do whatever it takes. But what if that voice isn't hers? And the number on your screen? Sure, it's her number, but the call's not coming from her phone. This isn't a made-up scenario. This is what's happening right now. Criminals are leveraging artificial intelligence to create deepfakes and clone voices, scamming everyday people out of tens of thousands of dollars. The danger's real, and it's closer to home than you might think. And before you start thinking that could never happen to me, I'm here to tell you, you're exactly the kind of person they target. The ones who believe they're not worth scamming. You're their favorite prey. That mindset makes their job easy because you already believe that no one would ever bother to target you, so you've convinced yourself that you've got nothing to worry about. That makes you the perfect target because you're never going to see them coming. Just to give you an idea of the scale of this problem, in 2023 alone, AI-powered scams cost Americans over $100 million, with average losses per victim of more than $14,000. Worldwide, fraud losses exceeded over $1 trillion. These aren't just numbers, they represent people's lives, savings, security, and peace of mind. But I'm not here just to frighten you. I'm here to help. In this video, I'm going to break down exactly how AI-augmented social engineering scams work, show you the clues that indicate when you're being targeted, and most importantly, arm you with the strategies you need to protect yourself, your loved ones, and your businesses. I'm going to walk you through the three-phase process scammers use to clone voices, gather personal information, and create targeted attacks. By the end, you're going to know how these schemes operate, how to spot them, and more importantly, how to fight back. So grab a cup of coffee and get comfortable, because this is going to be a long one. All right, so what exactly is going on here? In general, we're talking about good old-fashioned fraud. And while people defrauding people is as old as time, the type of fraud we're focusing on today falls under the category of social engineering. What do I mean by social engineering? Well, to put it simply, social engineering is the art of manipulating people. It's when somebody uses deception or manipulation to gain your trust, extract sensitive information from you, or convince you to take actions that you wouldn't otherwise take. Social engineering can take a lot of different forms. It could be a fake email designed to look legitimate, a convincing phone call, or even an in-person encounter. All of it's crafted to exploit your instincts and human nature. By definition, social engineering isn't about hacking systems. It's about hacking you. Thanks to AI, the kind of fraud we're talking about today is becoming more and more common and more effective than ever before. Scammers are using AI to clone voices and even create convincing video with incredible accuracy.
I am not Morgan Freeman, and what you see is not real.
These things used to be really easy to catch. They were clunky and obviously fake. But with advancements in AI, they're now dangerously convincing. And don't think for 1 second this is only a problem for celebrities or the ultra-wealthy. Scammers love coming after everyday people. You, me, anyone who mistakenly believes they're safe from this kind of fraud. Now, before we dive in, I'd like to ask you to please take a moment to hit that subscribe button and click the notifier bell to turn on notifications. And if you appreciate deep dives like this, consider hitting that join button and becoming a member to support this channel or support us directly through Patreon. And speaking of Patreon, a special thanks goes out to Swashbuckling Pirate. Hey man, I want you to know that I really appreciate your support. All right, now that we've got that covered, I've got a little challenge for everybody. In a second, I'm going to play some audio, and I want you to see if you could figure out which voice is AI generated. This is a chilling reminder of just how real and how dangerous these scams can sound.
Hello?
Grandma, it's so good to hear your voice.
Well, hello there. It's been too long since we talked. How are you, dear?
I'm doing really well, Grandma. School's going great, my grades are solid, and things have been good with Mom and Dad. They've been super supportive. I'm really sorry I haven't called more. I've just been so overwhelmed with my studies. Everything's been piling up.
Oh, don't you worry about that, honey. I know how busy school can be. I'm just glad to hear you're doing well.
Thanks, Grandma. You know, I didn't want to say anything, but I've got a bit of a problem, and I didn't know who else to turn to.
Oh dear, what's going on? You know you can tell me anything.
Well, I need some textbooks. I've done everything I can, but I still need to cover the cost of a few more books, and I can't complete my courses without them.
Oh, textbooks. You had me worried it was something serious.
I know it's not life or death, Grandma, but it's important. The thing is, I know Mom and Dad are really struggling with money right now, and I don't want to embarrass them by asking for help. I'm sure they'd feel awful if they knew.
You're a good boy thinking of them. How much do you need, sweetheart?
I hate to ask, but I need about $1,000. That would cover the textbooks for both semesters. I know it's a lot, and I wouldn't ask if I had any other option.
Oh, honey, that's no problem at all. Education is important, and I'm happy to help. How should I send it?
Thank you so much, Grandma. Could you go to Walmart and wire it to me? It's the fastest way, and I could get it all sorted before classes start again.
Of course, sweetheart. I'll head over right now. Should I let your parents know or?
Oh no, Grandma. Please don't. I'd hate for them to feel like they've let me down. They're doing everything they can. I just don't want them to worry about it. At least until I've sorted things out. You understand, right?
Of course, honey, I understand. I'll keep this between us. My lips are zipped. You just focus on your studies, all right?
Thank you, Grandma. Really. I don't know what I'd do without you. I can't wait to see you at Thanksgiving.
I can't wait either, sweetheart. I'll make you that pecan pie you love so much. You had 10 pieces last year. Okay, maybe only 3.
You're the best, Grandma. I love you so much.
I love you too, darling. I'm so proud of you. Keep up the good work.
I will, Grandma. I'll call you as soon as I get it.
What you just heard may have sounded like a genuine conversation between a grandson and his grandmother. Now the question is, could you tell which parts of that call were AI generated? This is exactly the kind of threat the FBI is warning about in this bulletin. Scammers are using AI technology to clone voices and create convincing video on the fly. In many cases, weaponizing the love and trust of a family member to use it as a tool for AI-powered social engineering and fraud. Now let's break down how these scams work. Phase 1. Data collection. The first step in executing this type of AI-driven social engineering scam is data collection. To replicate a target's voice with precision, scammers are going to start by collecting publicly available data, social media posts, voice clips from presentations, webinars, or even corporate videos. And while hacking into your personal devices or the systems that you use is possible, they usually don't have to. Social engineering is a far easier option. Consider this. The phone rings, and on the other end is someone who seems totally normal, a telemarketer selling solar panels, gutters, a new roof, a person taking a political survey, a pharmacy employee confirming a prescription, or even a client with a question. Whatever they need to do in order to capture a few seconds of the target's voice. Just a short conversation can give these guys enough material to use AI to build a highly convincing clone of the voice they intend to use. The more these guys can gather, the more accurately they can replicate speech patterns, tones, and even subtle emotional cues. Ultimately, their goal is to create a clone of the target's voice that's so good their mother wouldn't even know the difference. However, collecting voice samples is just one objective in the data collection phase. These guys know what they need to do in order to get you to let your guard down. This is where they gather all the information they need in order to manipulate caller ID so that it appears as if the call is coming from someone you trust. Your daughter, a friend, or even the office. They know that when you see that familiar number on your screen, you're far more likely to trust the voice on the other end, even if something feels a little bit off. So how do they do that? Well, let's face it, most people have shared way too much information online. A quick scroll through social media can reveal your location, workplace, family connections, and even your contact information. The reality is that everything a scammer needs to manipulate you is often just a few clicks away. whether it's on your profile or a profile that you're connected to, or any number of data brokers available online. The information they need is out there. So if they've done their job correctly, at the end of phase 1, the attacker has everything they need to make their move. A convincing voice sample, personal information about you, your family, where you work, and the people you care about and trust. They even have contact details for you and the person they're planning to impersonate when they try to take you down. So now, phase 2 of the attack can begin. Phase 2, voice cloning and deepfake generation. With all the data they collected about you in phase 1, scammers are now able to move on to the voice cloning phase of their attack. With nothing more sophisticated than a web browser, they can use AI-driven voice cloning technology to analyze their recordings. These AI tools are getting better and better at replicating every tone, inflection, accent, and even the subtle pauses and emotional cues that make your voice uniquely yours. But these guys aren't stopping at just voices. Scammers can create deepfake videos that use AI to swap faces, synchronize lips, and mimic facial expressions, and this can be done in real time with mind-blowing accuracy. Even if you think you're good at spotting deepfakes, the technology is advancing faster than anything that we've seen before. What once required time, patience, training, and experience in order to do it well can now be done in a matter of minutes with nothing more than a web browser and internet access. And let's be real, there's no shortage of data to work from. We've normalized sharing every moment of our lives on social media, Facebook posts, TikTok clips, Instagram reels. Everybody wants validation. Everyone wants to be seen. But the scammers see this stuff too, and they know how to exploit it. Every video, every look at me post, every casual conversation recorded online can be weaponized against you. And then there's the corporate world. HR initiative like those awesome team building videos that everybody loves taking part in, or the public-facing introductions for the web portal, even promotional content recorded by the executive staff, all intended for engagement, ultimately becomes a data goldmine for scammers. Every clip you put out there adds another layer to the pool of data that they can use against you. So who are the best targets? Scammers fantasize about taking down a whale, the high-profile targets loaded with cash and prestige, but those individuals often have layers of security and gatekeepers, making them really hard to reach. So while some of these scammers may be dedicated to the idea of taking down a whale and love the thrill of the hunt, it's not always practical. The easier targets, those are people who think they don't matter enough to be scammed, the ones that say, "Why would anybody bother with me?" If that's how you think, you're making their job easy. Complacency is a scammer's best friend, and it makes you the perfect target. If you believe you're not worth targeting, you probably think there's no harm in sharing every detail of your life online. I get it. Nowadays, it's party time all the time. Nobody ever wants to look at the other side of the coin, and if you do, you're weird and worry too much.
I don't want to be like you. I want to be cool.
But the reality is that every piece of data that you put out there makes it so scammers don't need to hack secret databases to get at you. They just need you to keep posting and sharing. Every clue you leave adds to their arsenal, making it easier to take you down when they're ready. And when they do, if they played it right, you won't even realize it's happened until it's far too late to do anything about it. Now we enter phase 3, the attack phase. After spending a few hours online, they've assembled everything they need to move into the attack phase. It's taking them all of one afternoon to gather a voice sample and use AI tools to clone it. They've scoured the internet for every scrap of information about their target, and they've crafted what they believe will be the perfect approach. They even know which number they want to have appear on your caller ID, so you're already answering the phone with your guard down. With a convincing voice or video in hand, the scammers are ready. The time has come to exploit your emotions and your instincts. Their goal? To use the techniques of social engineering to create a sense of urgency, fear, trust, or confusion to make you act without thinking. They slip on the same headset they use for gaming, fire up their VoIP phone application, and input the number they want you to see on your phone. And for them, the hunt is on. Meanwhile, somewhere on the other side of the country, or even the world, your phone rings. It's 3 a.m. Who could possibly be calling at this hour? You glance at the screen and see your daughter's number. Something must be wrong. Heart pounding. You answer. Her voice trembles. "Daddy, I'm in trouble." You hear the fear, the desperation. Your heart races as she goes on to describe a situation so urgent, so terrifying that you can barely think, let alone question it. Maybe she's been in an accident. Maybe she's stranded and alone. Maybe she just needs money for her books for school. Whatever the story, it's been crafted to manipulate every instinct you have. But at this point, you and I know the harsh reality. The voice on the other end isn't your daughter. It's a scammer using AI-driven voice cloning or real-time voice-changing technology. Every word, every emotional inflection is carefully designed to lower your guard and push you to act without thinking. Now imagine a different scenario. You're at work, the phone rings, and it's the voice of a senior executive, someone whose authority you would never dream of questioning. I need this transfer completed immediately, they say. The urgency is unmistakable. There's no time to lose. I'm counting on you to get this done. It's commanding, pressing, but it's all an illusion, a calculated ploy to exploit your trust and the established chain of command. The key to social engineering is making you feel pressured, afraid, or obligated. The more familiar and urgent the situation feels, the less time you have to think critically. This is exactly what these scammers are counting on. All right, so now that we've covered how these scams are executed, let's discuss how to detect if someone's using an AI-enhanced social engineering attack against you, and then we're going to talk about the steps that you can take to protect yourself, your loved ones, and your business from falling victim to these sophisticated crimes. Defense strategies. Detection. Okay, first up, let's talk about AI-generated voices and some of the telltale signs that you can listen for. Keep in mind that when they're performing these kinds of attacks, typically they've cloned the voice that they want to work with, and then they use a voice-changing application so that they can carry on a conversation with you using that voice. So here are 7 things you need to be listening for if you think the voice on the other end of the line might be AI-generated. Inconsistent tone and pitch. Listen for sudden changes in voice depth or pitch that don't align with the person being impersonated. Voice changers often struggle to maintain consistent tone, leaving moments where the voice might sound off or unnatural. Lack of familiar speech patterns or phrasing. Since these guys will typically clone the voice of someone you know, listen for unfamiliar phrasing, word choice, or expressions that the person wouldn't typically use. While voice changers can mimic the sound, it fails to replicate the personal speech habits and unique conversational quirks that most people have. Subtle distortion or mechanical quality. Slight mechanical distortion or a metallic tone, especially during emotional or rapid speech changes. Voice modulation tools can introduce subtle artifacts or distortions, particularly when under stress or shifting quickly. Difficulty mimicking emotional depth. Listen for forced, flat, or mismatched emotional tones that don't fit the context of your conversation. Even advanced AI struggles to capture the depth and nuance of genuine human emotion, which leads to responses that feel off. Behavioral mismatches or small details. Listen for inconsistent facts, inconsistencies in current events, or gaps in personal history. An attacker may have limited personal knowledge and could slip up on details, which exposes the fact that they're trying to commit fraud. Background noise consistency. Listen for static, consistent background sounds, or natural drops in ambient noise. Real conversations often feature variable background noise, while synthetic voice modulation can struggle to recreate realistic dynamics. Odd pauses or strange pacing. Listen for pauses or pacing that feels slightly off compared to how a person would usually speak. An attacker using a voice changer may need to think or adapt differently, leading to subtle conversational discrepancies. If they're using text-to-speech, it's going to be really obvious because there's going to be long delays. Now, while the main focus of this presentation up until this point has been focused on detecting AI-generated voices, it's really important that we take a second here to understand the risk of deepfake videos. These AI-generated videos are becoming increasingly sophisticated, and it's making it really hard to determine what's real and what's fake. And as AI evolves at this lightning pace that it's evolving at, we're really going to approach a time here in the not-too-distant future where spotting the difference is going to be almost impossible. Fortunately, at least for the moment, there's still some signs that we can watch for when evaluating a video. But keep in mind, these indicators are going to become harder to spot as the technology continues to improve. So here are 9 things you need to be looking for if you think you might be looking at an AI-generated deepfake video. Facial expressions and realism loss. Deepfakes often struggle to capture the full range of natural human expression. If a smile doesn't reach the eyes or the movement seems stiff and mechanical, trust your instincts. It could be a deepfake. Face shape and proportions. Compare the face shape and proportions to known images of the person. If features like the forehead, eyes, or overall structure look off, it might indicate that this is an AI manipulated video. You want to look for issues with eyes. Look for unrealistic blinking patterns, inconsistencies in eye movement, even alignment, like one eye might appear slightly misaligned or fail to track naturally. Deepfakes sometimes have difficulty maintaining realistic direction and focus of the eyes, which gives it the dead-eye appearance or an inconsistent gaze that's a common giveaway that this could be AI-generated video. Side angle weakness. A lot of deepfakes struggle when showing faces from the side, often resulting in a distorted or less realistic facial structural appearance. The wax museum effect. Look for a waxy, overall smooth skin appearance. Deepfakes may lack the natural texture and fine details found in real human skin. Ear accuracy. Ears are difficult for AI to replicate accurately, at least for now. If there are noticeable differences in ear shape, size, or placement, you could be looking at a deepfake. Mouth and voice synchronization. Pay attention to how the mouth moves. If it doesn't perfectly sync with the voice, or there's even a slight delay, it could indicate that you're looking at synthetic video. Blending and skin color matching. Check for poor blending between the face and neck or mismatched skin tones. These can be dead giveaways of digital manipulation. Human touch and craftsmanship. Convincing deepfakes often involve manual editing alongside AI generation. Look for details like realistic shadows, skin imperfections, and natural movement to differentiate high-quality fakes from genuine video. Recognizing these signs can put you one step ahead in guarding yourself against deepfake deception. But remember, AI is evolving faster than anything that we've seen before. What works today may not work tomorrow, which is why taking active steps to protect yourself and staying vigilant is absolutely necessary. Defensive strategies, countermeasures. So now let's talk about how to employ countermeasures to protect yourself from AI-driven scams and deepfakes. Knowledge is powerful, but taking action is what truly makes the difference. Implement verification protocols. The first and most powerful thing you can do is trust but verify. The last thing you want to do is leave your child stranded on the side of the road because you assumed you detected a fake. So even if the request appears to come from a trusted contact, establish a challenge phrase known only to you and your trusted connections, a secret code word or a question that an imposter just wouldn't know. Keep in mind, depending on how much information is out there, asking something like the name of a relative or a loved one or where they went to school might not be enough. Thanks to the way most people treat social media, the simple things are probably off the table. You're gonna have to get creative. In a business setting, you're going to also want to implement multi-channel verification for high-stakes requests. Confirm sensitive actions through a second method, like a follow-up call, an email, or a face-to-face meeting. Use multi-factor authentication. Enable MFA on all critical systems and accounts. Even if scammers manage to steal login credentials, MFA provides an extra layer of defense, making unauthorized access significantly more challenging. Training and awareness. Education is always going to be your first line of defense. Teach yourself, teach your family, your employees about the tactics that scammers are using. Regular training sessions, informative videos like this one, and real-world case studies can sharpen your instincts and increase awareness around things like social engineering attempts. Secure communication channels. Whenever possible, use encrypted communication tools for sensitive conversations. Public Wi-Fi networks and unsecured phone lines are prime targets for cybercriminals looking to intercept valuable information. Be wary of unsolicited messages. If you receive an unexpected call, email, or message asking for money, sensitive information, or an urgent action, you need to verify it through a different channel. Contact the person or organization directly using a trusted method to make sure everything's on the up and up. Don't just call the number provided like the ones listed in a questionable email. Do some digging around online and find a different way to get back to them or the organization they claim to represent. Make sure you're not inadvertently walking into a scam when you call them back. Review your privacy settings on a regular basis. Rethink how you are and have been dealing with your social media accounts. You're going to want to adjust and review your privacy settings on all of your social media accounts, your messaging apps, and even your public platforms. The less personal data you share, the harder you make it for scammers to target you effectively. Engage with trusted security tools. Consider incorporating a range of security tools to protect against AI-driven scams and fraud. For phishing protection, look at tools like Proofpoint or Microsoft Defender for Office 365. These tools can help to filter and detect suspicious emails before they reach you. To combat deepfakes, platforms such as Sensity AI and Deepware Scanner offer deepfake detection capabilities, helping you to identify manipulated video and audio content. If you leverage these tools, it's going to give you a stronger line of defense, and it'll help detect threats before they become a real problem. I hate to tell you this, folks, but the hunt is on, and you're the prey. If we're going to stand a chance against these ever-evolving threats, you're going to have to get involved in your own defense. That's why I've dedicated some time to creating content like this. My goal here is to engage with both technical and, more importantly, non-technical audiences in order to bring everybody into this fight. Cybersecurity isn't just for IT professionals. It's an all-hands-on-deck effort. Without active investments from everybody in protecting ourselves and our technology, the risks are simply too great. You and I are going to have to find a way to patch the holes together, one step at a time. Speaking of which, as I've been working on this project, I realize there's so much more that we can do to stay ahead of these threats. I have a really good friend of mine, one of the top insider threat experts out there. He's got years of experience in the intelligence community. I like to joke that the guy's a sweetheart of a human being, but make no mistake, he's one of the sharpest minds when it comes to understanding and tackling these kinds of challenges. So what do you think? Would you be interested in hearing from him? I'm considering bringing him on for a discussion right here on the channel and maybe inviting a few more experts I know as well. The idea is to equip you guys with practical hands-on tools to better protect yourselves, your loved ones, and your organizations from things like fraud and insider threat. I've got to admit, my Rolodex has gotten pretty interesting over the years, so this could truly be something special. I mean, some of these guys aren't going to be interested in publicly engaging on a lot of the topics that I dance around, and others aren't going to be able to because of things that they do professionally. I've already had to pull down some videos I made before I even met some of these guys because they were real sticking points that resulted in hard no's in the past. But it could be interesting. I'll leave it up to you guys. If that sounds like something you'd like to do, you're going to have to drop a comment below and let me know. If I can demonstrate that there's enough interest from folks just like you, I might be able to convince these guys to come on and collaborate with me on some projects in the future. I've made the argument for a long time now that the average person really does want to get involved, but most technical people talk right over their heads and give up on them when they don't understand what they're talking about. The truth is, if we're going to stay ahead of these threats on a personal, business, and even national level, we're going to have to work together. Things are moving way too fast, and too many people are being left behind, and that makes us all more vulnerable. All right, lastly, I want to take a second here to thank everybody for watching these videos. I'm really working on improving the quality of these videos each time I put one out, and I hope it shows. I also want to thank you guys for taking the time to stay informed. We no longer live in a world that's purely physical. Technology is ingrained so deeply in our lives that we really do need to get everybody personally invested in protecting ourselves and each other. I've taken enough of your time on this one. I hope you found the video helpful. If you did, do me a huge favor and take the time to hit subscribe and also turn on the notification bells so that you don't miss any updates in the future. And if you can afford to, please consider clicking the join button and helping to build this community, or consider supporting us directly through Patreon. And until you and I get a chance to sit down together again, be good to yourself and to each other.